Hello one and all, I'm Palofgames and welcome to the Afterthought. Today I am looking at Duelyst. I've been playing it for a long time now and I just thought, you know, it's a really good time to show it off as it's officially launched today, I believe, May 1st. Should have a video out in a couple of days after this, I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, I want to just show off all that Duelyst has to offer. It's a really cool card game with a lot going for it, and it also like mixes in a nice amount of board like presence. If you think Cards and Castles, it's like that, but it probably has a little more polish to it in terms of how the board works. It has more of a meaning to it. It has daily quests. You get 2 daily quests a day. And if you like go off for like a few days or whatever and you come back, you'll have a third quest which is for 50 of this currency to like play pre-games, just to bring you back into the game. I'll be going over currency in a minute, but for the start I want to show you off all these cool little icons here. So I've shown you quests, profiles. So this is probably one of the coolest things about a game. I've not seen a game what goes as in detail as this game does with the whole sort of stat tracking stuff. So basically you'll get one of these ribbons here for 100 wins, I believe, for each class, or it might be a bit more, but basically it works in the same way that how Hearthstone does golds, basically, but it will just show you a nice little ribbon next to you. As you'll see, this has a current rank, top rank, stuff like that. Gauntlet is basically arena from what I can tell. I've not had a chance to play it myself yet. It's kind of got this weird time element to it. I'll show you what I mean in a minute. But it has a really cool faction levels for all your classes if you are interested in that. But rather than giving you like gold variants of cards or stuff like that, it gives you cool new. It lets you unlock new emotes. Now, once you get past level 10, before that you will get some like basic faction cards. I don't know. I suppose it's something to go for, but for me, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about, you know, not having all them faction emotes to start with. I mean, it just seems like a pointless treadmill, really. They didn't have to put that in. They could have just locked it at like level 10, but I suppose it gives people something to work towards. But you know, so here's one of the coolest parts of this: is your rank history. So it will show you every like month you've ever played, as well as what rank you got to. Now, obviously, I was quite casual to start with. I'm just kind of starting to play more of it. It's for me. I mean, this is a game I drop in and out of, do my daily quests, and that's all I really go for. I mean, I'm not been super competitive with this game yet, but you know, I'm starting to get more and more into it. Then it will show you a nice little accumulative how many of each rank you have achieved, and obviously 10 I believe is gold, 5 is diamond, and obviously, you know, S rank is your legendary rank, I'd imagine, is how it works. I've obviously not ever got that far because I'm a bit of a scrub. And then it will show you, like, you can actually watch replays of your games, which is a really cool feature. And Hearthstone, which is obviously, you know, the main competition as far as a digital card game goes, hasn't got this. Cards and Castles, which I would say is the most similar type of game to this, hasn't got it. So it's really cool to see that. Now, Codex is basically your kind of, it's like the single player element of the game, but it's not the only thing the game has as far as single player content. It has a lot of different single player content. So your content is pretty self-explanatory. And if you basically achieve 20, the rank 20, you'll be guaranteed to get a card every month as like a new update. Now, it does seem to be some sort of like graphical hiccup here. That's not normally there, so I don't know. I've never noticed that happen before, so I'm not quite sure what's going on there. And then, of course, you can like watch the matches as they're in action, which is, you know, really cool. There's a lot going for it in that regard. So the Gauntlet, as I said, it seems to be like its timed element. You got to play it at like it's time sensitive each week. Now, for me, I kind of see this as a casual game for me so far. I've not really got super competitive at it. But if I was to, then, you know, I would probably like take a look at this at some point. Then of course, you know, there's loads in terms of single player content here again. You can like go through these if you want to learn the different like what each mechanic does. You know, there's a lot of user friendly stuff for people who have maybe never played a card game before, or just, you know, not being a bit like confused at what the game, how to play the game, or what a mechanics does. This game's really good for that, as well as it being, you know, a practice mode if you just want to check out a deck and see if it's any good. Now, obviously, the season play is what you'll be wanting to play the most of. Now, for me, I couldn't find an unranked version. There's only ranked play, so that might be a bit of a knock if you was looking to play against people, but you didn't want the pressure of, you know, well, this deck, you know, just a bit of fun. I don't know if I'll be able to play well with this. Now, obviously you got your 6 classes, but I want to show you something before I actually go into a game which I thought was really cool, which is a recently implemented, I don't want to say, I'll say mechanic, just because it's easy. Basically, each class, even though you basically have a main hero, which basically has, it's basically the same as Hearthstone, except it's obviously a movable object on the game board, which can attack as well as your other creatures. So think warrior with weapons, but on a permanent basis. But basically, even though there's 6 classes, there's multiple heroes to choose from, which will all have, you know, an ability which is basically on timer. So I believe before your first activation it's 2 turns, and then it's 1 turn afterwards. I believe is how it works. I've only played a small amount of this as it's recently implemented, but that's what I kind of gather. So it gives you even customizable, like a reason to customize and, you know, real think about what your deck, you know, works towards, instead of just seeing it as a cosmetic choice. You know, it adds a little more depth to the game, which, to be honest, I'm quite a fan of. At the minute, I've been sticking with the default ones to begin with, because I just feel that they're just the easy options. You know, I mean, I can see, like, for instance, this character, if I was to centre a deck around the idea of Shadow Creep, then I would. Now, obviously, I know you won't be able to know what Shadow Creep is if you're new to the game, so I won't go into it too much, as it's just, you know, a mechanic. It's better to show you the game, really. I use Abyssian because it's one of my favourites. Because it's very much about token spamming to a degree. So this is going to be a big time game. Now, basically, the way it starts out is you've got 5 cards, or units, depending on how you want to see it. And you're able to replace 2 of them units at the start of the game, just to kind of, so we can kind of get rid of some of the latest stuff, which we're not too fond of. Given that though, this is what I'm going to get rid of, because it's no good early game for me, because it's more of a finisher, given that I'm a big token spammer. That gives all my units to attack when I attack. Now that we see, what you can see is a very beautiful game. There's a lot in the options menu you can look at, and I'll show you that after this game. Now you may say, oh, these 3 orbs, what are these all about? Well, they basically work as a coin, in that when you play a unit or your hero goes on to the orb, it will give a 1 mana per game usage to give you just sorry, I'm a bit caught up. but it will give you a bonus mana for that turn. It won't like add it on as an extra mana for all turns. It's just for that one turn. You know, you get a bit of a boost. Now you may have to sometimes, like I did there, use it just so your opponent can't get the extra momentum. Because it's very easy sometimes to be able to just put 2 down if you're positioned correctly and get 2 bonus mana, or even 3 if you really, you know, you've really done things well, but I don't think I've ever seen that happen. You would have had to really misplay for you to get that opportunity. Now, as you can see, it does favour the person on this side, and that tends to be the person who's going second. So you can see why that's put into play. Got choices here. I'm going to go with my with this character, and it's a character which is really aided by the fact that creatures have died on the game. It just gains a 1/1 buff every time one creature dies, and it includes yours and your opponent's. So I'm going to do well here. Clean up pretty nicely. Now, I could have played this, which would have destroyed my range unit straight up. Because I'm in range, and it might have not been that I was in range, it's very lucky that I did. I was willing to take a bit of a risk there, and it's paid off. And then I will attack with this, given that I'll gain up to 6/6, and that will mean that if he hits into it, it will automatically die. And I get a bit of damage in for it, so I don't mind too much. What's nice also is that everything has a separate audio slide if you wanted to customise it, which you don't see a lot with card games where they'll put in that much effort, but it's got like a volume slider for if you want to change how loud the effects are compared to the background music, compared with, there is another one, I think there's like a voice as well, so how they speak compared to the effect sound, and as I said, the background music, which is good for people who may actually enjoy the background sounds. I'm not one really for you. It gets, you know, a bit tiresome after you play the game for quite a while, so you just tend to just put on your own tunes. But you know, that might not be the case for everyone. So the game can take, I would say, about, from what I've seen, it can take 10 to 15 minutes to get a game in, which is I don't know, it's a little on the long side, but you know, you get a lot more out of the game. Here we're going to swap out my flying creature, because it has no effect here. He seems to have played around that pretty well. I'm quite impressed. In fact, I haven't really got a answer. So I'm just going to go with playing that, and then showing off how the ability system works. So there you go. Basically, as soon as you end your turn, it's back to them. It does seem to be on a two turn clock rather than a one afterwards. So it's a bit incorrect on that one. At least I know what I'm. At least I know now. As you can see, it also shows you, you know, the ranking next to the character. If you actually click on that character, you can then use some of these like silly emotes, and you have your individual faction ones as well, which is nice. Let's go with a ha ha ha, because we're having so much fun. As you can see, there's like it's irradiating like hexagon, I suppose. I can't quite see how many sides are on it. Which basically allows you to know that that needs to be attacked. It's like a taunt mechanic basically for anything what's surrounding that character, which is a nice way of doing things. And here I can attack like so. Play this. Now, because I can't play it in the middle, I'm not going to get full effect of this. So I'm just going to stop there, I think. Now he'll take 2 damage because he's in direct line, and that's what that does. So everything has some sort of effect, which can either affect the board, a certain character. And as you can see, the game it goes by pretty quickly. Your hand size tends to be quite high a lot of the time, unless just because of the fact that the effect on top of everything else kind of gives you something to play all the time. Has quite a nice effect there. I need to be getting that off the board as quick as I can. Let's see what his follow-up is. Has he got one? Probably not. So we're going to swap this out. That actually gives me quite a lot to do. Put this over here. Attack into that. And then what that will do is I'll do 2 damage to everything and gain 2 health back. Oh, does it restore full health? I didn't know that. And a concede has happened. That's why. So that was a nice demonstration of the game. And then, you know, there's a nice tipping system. I didn't quite get a chance to show you that off, but basically you can give your opponent 5 gold, just as a nice way of saying, you can just share some gold out if you want to. You probably won't, because you want to keep it for yourself. But, it's an option there, and it's nice. Feeling particularly benevolent. So I was going to show you the settings. So there's a lighting quality option for how high you want that, as well as your shadow quality option, a bloom option, and then, like I say, your volume sliders. Now, I've just got them all at the same at the minute, but obviously you could change them if you wanted to. Overall, I would say I've been playing this a lot, and I think it's very solid in its current form. Like I say, the only real problem I have is like the Gauntlet being on the time system. It'd be nice just to have it constantly like Arena is, but for whatever reason it's time sensitive. I suppose it's just to get more players playing it. I'm not sure. But I would say, it's really good in its current form, and I might as well just show you some pack openings if you want. They have Spirit Orbs, which is just to show you the animation. It's quite nice. Wow, that was a really good pack, because that's basically the equivalent of a legendary. And I got 2 legendaries within that, which is crazy. That was a really good opening. I'll open a few. I'll open 3 of the 13 I've got. And I can always do another pack opening if people want me to. Wow, and another one. So as you can see, they're not exactly stingy with the packs. You can get pretty good openings. That one, it was just a double rare. But as you see, it's pretty fair. I'll show you the collection I've currently got. I want to try and show you how many I've not got, really. So as you can see, this is a problem I have in that it's not really that defined on which ones you have got and which ones you haven't. As you can see, it's very subtle between the two. I think it would be nice if they gave a lot more, like, darker colour, because at the minute it just seems like it's, or even a totally abrasive colour to this, like a red, just to give more definition between the two, because sometimes it's tricky to see which one's which, as you can see. But maybe that's just me. Even did it like this. This would be a nice way of doing it. They only do this for the ones you unlock by characters leveling up. But it would be nice. To me, it would seem a lot more defined as to which ones I've got and which ones I haven't. But you know, maybe that's just a minor gripe I have. I think the animations in it are fantastic. As you can see, I've been able to rack up quite a few pretty easily. So I think that covers everything, to be honest. As I say, I'll leave a link if you want to check this out. It's a free-to-play card game / board game. I don't know what you'd say. It's a turn-based card game on a board. All I know is it's an excellent game with stellar graphics. The games are slightly on the long side if you play against a really good player, I suppose. But I'd say the average game time is 10 to 15 minutes, maybe. Some might go real quick if you're playing a more rushy type deck, obviously. But it's definitely a really cool, methodical card game, which you can really sink your teeth into. And I recommend you check it out. So yes, thank you for watching, everyone. And let me know what you thought of it in the comments, if you've played it, or if you're planning on playing it. Yeah. Goodbye.